Hi guys, Nicole here. So I am going to take a little break. I'm halfway done making the individual kits from the piles that I started earlier. If you're not aware, this is part of a series, and it is where I am working on getting a bunch of older stash put into kits so that I can get open up a couple baskets and start putting the leftovers of my newer kits in those baskets and have newer, fresher supplies to pick from when I'm making a homemade kit or whatnot. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the way I scrapbook or maybe my past videos, I work mostly within kits. And so what I most often do is work within what I call a manufacturer's kit, which is usually like one collection kit. So I usually get if I like a collection, I usually get a good portion of it. I scrapbook with it as a whole for a while, and then when I'm done with that, then I disperse the rest of the kit into my stash, which I've organized by type. And that's something if I have time, I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. I've had some other suggestions, but I want to talk about why I organize the way I do, but that might be a separate video. Anyway, so then my 6x6, if I have a leftover 6x6 pad, it goes into the rest with the rest of my 6x6 pads, etc., etc. So after doing that for many years, I've been working with kits now for probably 3 or 4 years. So and then plus I've had supplies because I've been scrapbooking since I was 15. So, just supplies generally, add up over time, even whether they're leftovers from a kit or just something that you purchased. And so I had two baskets in particular that I wanted to get empty because I have a hard time digging through them, partially because I love the baskets, but they're like that. They're like a weaved basket, and they kind of, things kind of stick to the sides, and it's just not the easiest thing to filter through, which is okay because, like I said, I mostly work with kits. But when I'm making my homemade kits, it's just hard to go through and just look through one thing, and then things fall to the bottom, and because I'm not good about putting things back in their packages. So I thought, hey, I just want to get these empty. I want to get them organized and coordinated, maybe in little groupings, and make kits from those groupings, because then I'm more apt to use them. I'm more apt to pull it out and work with it. And then it'll give me one more chance to say, okay, I've worked with this on 2 separate occasions now. Am I done with it? Do I need to give it to the rest of my kids or donate it or whatever? So this whole series that I'm in the middle of now is really starting at it from that point of, I want to get some old stash used up. A lot of it's not super old. I'm adding a newer stash into the kits as well. But it's also allowing me to go through my papers and my other smaller embellishments that are maybe more neutral, but and kit it all together and get the stuff used up. I am going to scrapbook with my friend next weekend, and I always take kits to that weekend. Even at home, I work within kits. The only times that I don't work within kits is usually if I'm scrapbooking for a client. And in that case, I have things organized in a way that it's really not hard to find something that I'm looking for. But anyway, so that's kind of how kit making is a pretty big part of my scrapbooking. And so I wanted to reiterate that this series is not how I typically start. I don't usually do them in mass like this. I don't usually do, 6 at a time. I don't usually start with embellishments first. I usually start with paper first. But this was a challenge for me because I wanted the starting point for me was to use up these embellishments and to use up these older supplies, and then to start there and then pair them with paper, further down in the process. So here, what I wanted to do is kind of take a break from that and kind of more talk generally about kits and how there are so many amazing ways that you can start making a kit. There are lots of different inspiration points you can start. You can start from, and I wanted to go through some of those ideas with you. Maybe even put a couple little kits together here on camera as I'm talking about them. We'll see how much time I have to do that. But I wanted to just really quickly just talk about some fun things you can do. And if you get bored of making a kit a certain way, you can mix it up a little bit and start from a different starting point. So anyway, I'm sorry if you're seeing my hands. I talk with my hands. So as I talked about, the way I mostly, not all the time, but mostly start is with what I call, a collection kit, which is usually one paper line. This is Amy Tan's Rise and Shine. When I order it, the first thing, I just keep it together. I keep it in one of these Ziploc bags. I put it on a shelf. When I'm ready to scrapbook with it, I pull it out. I work with it as a collection. Sometimes some collections are lighter on embellishments than others. So what I'll do is, if I say, gosh, there's a lot of dimensional things, but I wasn't like, I know sometimes the sticker books sell out really fast. Sometimes I don't always get them. There aren't very many actual flat stickers, so I'm going to just go to my stash and maybe find something that matches. Maybe I'll go to one of her older lines, because a lot of times the lines from the same designer will match. And so I don't have to do that very often, though. I usually am able to get a hold of most of the supplies that match the collection. So I would scrapbook with this, and then when I'm done, then this gets dispersed into my stash. And so this is one example of a kit, and this is easy because they've done the work for you. And this is how I do most of my scrapbooking. So I'm going to put this aside because that's already, already been done for us. Okay, so let's say either that's not how you want to work, or you want to use your own old stash and you want to work from supplies that you already have. There's lots of different starting points that you could go from. And I just pulled a few different things from my stash to give you an example. So first of all, what the process I'm doing now is I'm starting with from a sticker sheet. So, for instance, I have the sticker sheet. I have not used it yet. I'm not for sure why. If I just didn't use the collection, if I just put it away, separated it out, I'm not for sure what happened, because usually they're at least partially used. But this would be a wonderful starting point for a kit, because it has a good variety of color. And so all you would need to do then is you just need to go to your stash, your papers, and just find papers that coordinate with these different colors, and then go to your other embellishments and do the same. So this would be a great starting point. I'm going to get one more example. Actually, I'm going to hold off. I'll save that example for this type. I have another issue that kind of comes up sometimes, and I'll get to that here in a second. So this is a great starting point. This is what I'm doing now. I went to all my old 12 by 12 sticker sheets, and I used those as starting points for my kits. Another option is these collection packs. So sometimes you will get these collection packs that don't have any other embellishments you can buy with them. They'll often come with flat stickers, but there are some collections that just don't offer dimensional embellishments or things that go with them. Or if they do, maybe I don't have access to them, or I just don't get them before they're sold out, or I just don't buy them, or whatever. Sometimes I'm sure I miss things. So this would be a great starting point because it already has the papers collected for you. You already have stickers. So you have a great starting point to build onto it. So you can add more papers if you want to. I probably wouldn't. These have 12 sheets. So I usually suggest about 10 to 12 papers is good. The papers the kits I'm making in this series are a lot bigger than that. And that's simply because my goal is to use up this stash, and I can break down those kits into smaller kits when I pull them out to play if I want to, if I feel like that they're too big. But generally my kit is usually between 10 and 12 papers, and then, a couple packs of maybe dimensional things, a couple packs of flat things, and then your finishing detail touches, and usually that's going to be plenty. And then I always add a tool in, a stamp or a punch or something that is reusable that I need to get out and use more often. But this would be a great starting point. You could just take your sticker sheet around your scrapbook, where you have your scrapbook supplies, and then just pull some different dimensional things that either match either the colors, or you could look at the icons. So like here it has a lot of the hexagons, and it has hearts and some arrows and a typewriter. So you could go and you could kind of pull some of the similar icons that are showing up in the sticker sheet and in the papers. And, you could go and add a bunch of neutral items in. This has brown in it, like a wood grain brown. So you could add some wood grain dimensional pieces into this kit. So this is a great starting point. It's already kind of partially done for you, and you can just add to it. Okay. Another great starting point is something like this. So I got a few of these from Hobby Lobby, from Me and My Big Ideas. They're pocket page kits. So they have cards, and they have some stickers, and I'm trying to think what's all in there. Here, I'll show you the back. I'll show. It has, cards, chipboard stickers, paper stickers, some embellished cards. So even though this is kind of a kit that's supposed to be kind of something you can do within itself, I'm not going to use it that way. I'm going to just incorporate it into my stash. It also has the pocket pages as well, which I can just put with my other pocket pages. And so this is a great starting point as well because I have a great color scheme that's already figured out for me. And I know I have some dimensional and some stickers, but I need papers, so I could go and just grab papers that match these colors. Maybe add in a couple more packs of embellishments, some finishing touch pieces, and call it good. So this is a good starting point as well for a kit. Okay, then you can do like a holiday or a themey kit. So this is a Halloween paper, and this is similar to my typical process where, or you could also grab like a sticker sheet as well, like a 4th of July sticker sheet or a Halloween sticker sheet, could go either way, and just make yourself some really themed kits so that when you're in the mood to scrapbook Halloween pictures, you can just pull your kit and you're good. And then my typical process is finding a piece of pattern paper that has multiple colors in it, has a cute design that you've been wanting to use or whatever. So this is a great example of that because you have lots of different fun colors you can go with. You have 3 different shades of blue, you have yellow, you have pink, you have darker green, light green, lots of different fun shades of some really fun colors. So you could just take this and you could just pull pattern papers that match and coordinate with the colors in here, and then do the same with your embellishments. This is typically how I start a kit. Again, I usually add in 10 to 11 more pages and then a pack of, a few packs of embellishments. So that's a great starting point. You could also start with a pack of embellishments. So this I got, it's from Kaiser Craft. I got this a few years ago. I loved it because it has lots of vintage camera images. And this definitely has a particular feel to it. It definitely feels more vintage, more like heritage feeling. It has the dark colors, the browns, more the distressed, kind of darker look. So this would be, I could open this package, pull these out. This could be a great starting point for a kit as well. It's given me a great variety of colors. It's already combined those colors for me in this collection. And I can then pull my papers and things according to what they've already done for me. Then you could also start from a paper pad. And again, most of the work is already done for you. As far as they've already put a color scheme together for you. And so like, for instance, this one, here, most of the sheets I have left in here each sheet is a single color. I don't know if I even have any of the multicolor. Let me see. So what I would be missing then, here, I have some scraps. So like here, they have like she has 2 papers in here that really combine all the colors. And then the rest of the papers are those colors in individual pieces. So what I would probably do, because I don't have a whole lot left of the papers that have the different colors that you're seeing, in all these papers, is I would probably go to my stash and just look for some more multicolored papers that will combine some of these colors. So maybe I'll find one that has yellow and black, or I'll find one that has this aqua and yellow, or something that has all those colors. When you're doing that, when you're coordinating papers, keep in mind some papers are very white based, some papers are very cream based, and sometimes you can mix them and it looks okay, and sometimes you can't. Like this is a pretty stark white, so I'd probably stick with pattern papers that are white based. But like, I think it'd be fun to kind of dig into your stash and try to find some fun patterns that mix some of these colors, and then from there, then add in your embellishments and things as well. You can also do that with a 6x6 paper pad. So even if you are scrapbooking larger layouts, you could start with this. Even though these aren't going to be your main papers, this could be your inspiration, and you could go find your 12x12 papers that coordinate with these papers and create your kit from a 6x6 paper pad instead of a 12x12. So just another way that you're able to do that. Okay. And then lastly, and I'm sure that there's other ideas, but another fun way to start a kit would be to use one of these Project Life kits. I picked two of them because I love them both. I think they're both great examples of kits that have lots of fun colors that you could then use to pull from your stash as far as papers and embellishments. So this has, the pinks and the blues, greens, purples, golds, and this has more kind of subtle colors, more pastel-y colors, the pinks and the mint greens and the golds. And so these would be, a great starting point as well to give you a good color scheme. They've coordinated it for you, and just to go on the hunt in your scrapbook stash for papers and other things that coordinate. And these would be a great starting point for that. So I hope that gives you some good ideas as far as ways that you can start putting together a kit. I'm gonna, I think, pause here and I'm gonna do some examples for you. I've already obviously done this example for you. It's what I'm doing now. This will probably be, I'm gonna do one more round of sticker sheets, putting embellishments in piles. I'm going to do that after I'm done with my other 3 kits, putting them together. So this will be one of those. So I'm going to set this aside. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this aside because this is a pretty easy concept. Just take the paper, go to your Halloween stash, fill in 10 to 11 more papers and some embellishments that match and call it good. So I think I'm going to skip these 2 processes right now because that's what I almost always do, and you can see that on a lot of my past videos whenever I make a homemade kit. So I'm going to put those aside, but I think I'm going to do some examples of starting from this, this, and this. So I'm going to do some videos showing you how I start with these individual pieces and create a kit based off of them. So I'm going to upload this video, watch for my next video. I will pick one of them and get that completed. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.